Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ollie, the Mortis Metallica. So what we're going to do now is just a little thing that I've been thinking of. It's called the Debrief. What's going to happen is I'm going to look back at the battle of the last battle, which in this case is versus the Dread Sentinels. Tim, thank you very much for coming down. Your army looked amazing, mate, honestly. I just wish I had a better camera that I could have taken photos with it. Kaleem, who took the photos that you see in the battle report and the opening montage video, did an absolutely amazing job, and he is incredible. I will put a link in the description to his work, but he's amazing, brilliant, and we will have definitely more of his involvement in the back reps as we move forward. So the idea of the debrief is nice and simple. It's basically me getting on the camera and explaining my list, how I wanted to play the battle, things that happened in the battle, and just little bits and pieces hopefully going forward. It's just keeping you guys engaged with the channel, things that are going on, how you can stay in contact with us on Facebook, Instagram, things like on YouTube, obviously, things like that. So what was the inspiration behind the list? Well, incursion mission, 1,000 points. They usually tend to be small armies. Tim surprised me with this horde of Prime Menace Marines, which, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting, and I was very, very lucky. I was also quite lucky in the fact that I had been thinking of tinkering with my list, and I'll explain that as I get into it. So the first idea was you can only have one detachment in the incursions mission briefing, so I went with a patrol detachment. The idea is I was looking at some of the missions and I thought you do need to have quite a good number of options for taking objectives and holding objectives. So my first thought was, right, Chaos Space Marine squad, they can either hold or advance. They can work their way around that. For my HQ, I went for a Chaos Lord as my Warlord. I gave him simple power axe and a bolt pistol. He is there simply for the reroll ones and to be a little bit of a force multiplier if someone gets to the backfield or if I want to go take a nearby objective. The second thought was, I love Predators. I love them. I really do. I think they're so good. They are so iconic. And the thing with these guys, I have left them quite plain. A few people, Facebook, in real life, Instagram, have made comments of they don't look very chaosy. They don't look very chaosy, Ollie. But what I want to do is I want to have these guys be a living testament to what's going on with the channel. So these guys, as time goes on, will accrue battle points, they'll accrue trophies, things like that. These guys, like the tanks and things like that. But I love Predators. So straight away, bang, 2 Predators. And then I immediately started thinking, do I want 3 Predators? Do I want 3 of them? And then it was, do I go for that spearhead detachment? I thought, no, I'm going to stick to patrol. That was my first thought, right? No, I'm going to do patrol. We'll have 2 Predators. Base, Chaos Space Marine squad, 2 Predators, Chaos Lord. And as I started filtering around it, I thought, right, I want something that's going to be quick, tough, and disruptive. And I think if you have seen the battle report, please watch it. You see this guy, the Helldrake, and let's be honest, this guy was really incredible. A part of that was the fact that we got Tim was a little bit unsure of some of the rules, so the damage was a little bit off on how that went. But when I thought fast, disruptive, I thought of this guy, and then I immediately thought, oh, do I want another one? Do I put the second one in as well? But I thought 2 of them might be a little bit too much for incursion level game. So I've now got 2 Predators, Chaos Lord, 1 squad of Chaos Space Marines, and a Helldrake. My second thought was, right, I need something to be the base of fire, a force multiplier. So I went straight away and thought, right, let's have a look at the HQ characters. Let's see what. Immediately, most people think Warpsmith. I went the other way. I thought Sorcerer. We've got psychic powers, prescience, and the Zinchian power of the 5+ vulnerable save, which I think for a battle tank like a Predator is invaluable. So, Sorcerer, prescience, and the Zinchian power, which completely escapes my mind right now. And then I thought, right, I've got that, but I want something to carry the battle. Maybe follow the Helldrake that can take objectives and that can hold ground at the same time. My first thought was get as many berserkers as I can in the Rhino and whoosh, off we go. I thought, no, I don't want to go. 5 berserkers with a champion, with a lightning claw, and a combi melter. I think that's a nice little present, especially at 1,000 points. Maybe if I was playing 2,000 or more, I might max out the berserkers and then just send them off after the Helldrake and see who can kill whatever. But I thought, no, I'm just going to go with those guys, and I'm going to get another Chaos Space Marine squad to go with them in a Rhino. The Rhino is fast, maneuverable, and it's quite tough, actually, when you think about it. The -1 from the smoke launchers, and it can hold objectives. As we saw in the battle report, it held one of the objective counters for me, which got me another 5 victory points for the domination. And I thought that was a pretty solid list. It had a fire base of 2 predators and the 2 characters. The 1 5-man chaos squad with the heavy bolter and the combi plasma, which I could use either to hold objectives in my own deployment zone or go after some in the mid-table. The Rhino that had the Chaos Space Marine squad and the Corn Berserkers in it. They could go after near game or mid-table objectives, or even my opponent's objectives, which they ended up doing, and they got very much in there, causing disruption, forcing Tim to react to what I was doing. And I had a Helldrake to be the first turn. Right, up we go, up the table, burn everything. We burn it all. And then we'll just pick up the bones and see what's left. So we'll go into the battle now, right? Okay, first of all, mission is a raid mission. 6 objectives, evenly spread out throughout the board. Pretty much perfect for the list that I had built. You know, I had things to hold my objectives. I could go after mid-table objectives, and I could go after my opponent's objectives. We made a decision at the start, and this is going to be a key thing in the channel, and that is we are going to have the mission secondary objective in each player's allotment. We're going to stick to the theme of the battle. So we only get to pick 2 secondary objectives. And we both picked pretty much the same ones. Again, I had engage on all fronts, which is where you go for the tail quarters. Tim had behind enemy lines, which worked out quite well for him. And we both had take no prisoners or thin the ranks, depending on how you're reading it, if you've got the chapter approved or going through the core rulebook. Now, the battle stat for the deployment, it's BPL Halifax is great, and obviously we caught them very, very early. They're still setting up a little bit, so they set up a beautiful tail for us, pipes, nice ruins to get a bit of advantage on, very thematic for the idea of a raid. You're going after supplies, you want to get to the wellheads, you want to be getting the power resources. So I set up, I had my firebase down in the bottom left hand as I was looking at the table, which is the near right. If you look in the back report, I had my Rhino in the centre and my Chaos Space Marine dismounted squad at the far side. The Predators had a very, very good field of fire, lots of open ground for them to look across. I put the Helldrake with them. The 2 characters obviously were with them because they were my solid firebase. And Tim sort of set up almost the counter, but he had his Hellblasters opposite my Chaos Space Marine squad and his Eliminators opposite the tanks, which I think was a slight mistake on the setup there. Especially because they didn't have the last fusils. Oh, thank God for that. But it was still a strong setup. He still had his very chatty boys in the middle, the Blade Guard, the Chaplain, the character bombs of the Lieutenant, and his Reavers in reserve. It was a very, very strong deployment. Like I said, if I would have been him, I'd have only made that one change. I'd have brought the Helmblasters over to face the Predators. trying to get that extra bit of anti-tank firepower on that corner. And the first turn, I got the first turn, very, very fortunate. The Helldrake just went straight up in the lines, just straight up, burn everything. Managed to get rid of the Eliminators with the help of the Predators, and then he got into the Chaplain, into the characters, and fortunately he stayed there for what, I think 3-4 combat phases. He did really, really well. This is one point I am going to say right now, Tim, I am very, very sorry. Not just because you're a giant second rower and I'm only a little front rower. Please don't hurt me. But I did make one huge error at the start of the game, and that was when I shot my Chaos Space Marine squad at your Intercessor squad. We forgot to roll your armor saves, mate. I am very, very sorry. That is my fault. I should really have insisted on that. I should have remembered it, really. So it's my fault, mate. I'm really, really, really sorry. As the game went on, Tim, in his first turn, he responded. He charged his Blade Guard in, his Lieutenant, to try and beat down the Helldrake. This is where I think, because Tim's not really used the Blade Guard before, I think this was his first time with the Blade Guard, actually. He didn't remember that there were damage 3. And that could have really knocked quite a bit off the Helldrake, because obviously the damage starts knocking down. Might have killed it a turn earlier, but it's something to remember for next time. And then we went on into my turn. The Predators again, they were just keeping up the gunfire. And the Rhino went off to the mid table. My Chaos Space Squad sat right where they were, the objective. But Tim used an orbital bombardment. Really, really nice strategy. And he dropped it on one of the objectives in my deployment zone, which was where my firebase was. And that got him to shift me off my objectives. Because there's no chance I'm not taking an orbital bombardment to the face. No way. No, thank you, mate. No. So we got out of the way, left that objective unsecured, but the Rhino managed to get another objective, so we got the objectives for the next command phase. And the game went on that. Tim did a very, very smart move in his second turn. He brought his Reavers on behind my lines. Managed to shoot a few of the Chaos Space Marines. Looking back, maybe that wasn't a smart move because he couldn't charge in then. Although, to be fair, with his rolls, he wouldn't have been able to charge anyway. They were really, really bad. The Chaos Space Marines and the Berserkers dismounted. They also got up into Tim's lines just after he'd killed the Helldrake. So, from Tim's point of view, yeah, finally got rid of this bloody Helldrake. Oh god, there's Berserkers coming. Right, turn around, play the guy cover. So, basically, I was able to, in this sense, because of the way things were hitting his lines, Tim couldn't really react or be proactive in securing things mid-table. He had to react in his own deployment. He was got trapped in there. But with his Reavers, they were really, really good. I made the mistake of trying to kill both squads in one turn, which, regardless of rolls, I really shouldn't have. I should have focused on one at a time, because that was just bleeding CPs away. Tim was just racking up the CPs with those guys for the rest of the game. With that line breaker, secondary objectives, finally managed to kill my Chaos Space Marine squad. He did kill all my infantry apart from my characters. I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So at the end of the game, I had a battered Rhino, 2 Predators, and 2 characters. It was a bloodbath. Tim had a handful of primary Marines. It was a really, really fun game. Really, really good. And the fact that this is the first game both of us have really played that much, together, trying to get it quick, trying to get it as fast as we can. And I think we did a pretty good job. I said it was a really, really fun game, really, really good. And Tim is only going to get much, 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 much better the more he learns his rules, because everyone makes mistakes. I made loads of mistakes. I make lots and lots of mistakes. But as you know your rules, like the 1 damage for the sword, that was a big thing. If you actually roll it as 3, the Helldrake might be gone a turn earlier, and Tim would have marched up the battlefield, and completely different game then, because I'm having to react to what Tim's doing. But I can't wait for the rematch. I honestly can't. That army is so beautifully painted, and Tim is such a nice guy. He's so great, and as that collection builds and builds and builds, it's going to be so good to just see that army growing, and take trophies from it. But I I just can't wait to get on to the next set of games. Hopefully there become maybe 1 or 2 games coming in the next couple of weeks. Let's keep us fingers crossed for that. No COVID lockdowns, fingers crossed for that. And I'll try and keep you up to date. I mean, if this goes down well, I don't know if it's been good or bad, but if it goes down well, I might make this a weekly thing where I can just show little projects I'm working on. It might be my Traitor Guard, it might be more Iron Warriors, it might be the idea of a list I've got coming, or just general hobby news, hobby feelings, the local environment, tournaments that might be happening, events that might be happening. It could be anything really. So again, guys, I just want to say thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications, and we will see you next time.